and welcome to another grammar lesson with Teacher Catalina. Are you ready to conjugate another verb? Sí, muy bien, I am. So today we are going to be conjugating the verb estar, to be. You're probably like, what? Wait, Teacher Catalina already taught me the verb to be. We learned the verb ser, which you are absolutely right. That means to be. But the verb estar also means the verb to be. So today we are going to be focusing on estar. Yes, when do you use ser? When do you use estar? Don't worry, that is another lesson we will be covering at a later time. Today, I want you to focus on using the verb estar, to be, to talk about emotions, and to talk about the location of people and things. And then we will worry about the rest later. Got it? Muy bien. Let's go into the classroom. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to talk about how you feel. For example, estoy feliz, I'm happy, or estoy triste, I'm sad. Those temporary conditions are used with the verb estar. That is why I ask you, hola, ¿cómo estás? And you may say, estoy bien, or estoy mal. See how we're using the verb estar? You've been doing it for a while already. Okay, let's get our conjugation on and make sure that we conjugate the verb estar for all of our subject pronouns. Remember, we are today using estar to talk about emotion and to talk about where things are in relations to others. So, yo estoy, I am, tú estás, and yes, there is an accent. Estar is a little bit of an irregular. You probably noticed from the yo form and the fact that we're going to be adding some accents. Él, ella, and usted, está. Nosotros and nosotras, estamos. Vosotros and vosotras, estáis. And ellos, ellas, and ustedes están. So again, let's go over our conjugations together. Estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, and están. Please take note of the accents because they will make a difference. And when you are writing, or if you're taking a Spanish class, those accents will be taken into account. So remember those. Now, let's focus on the fact that you have heard me use the verb estar quite a bit. I have asked you several times, hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm asking you. So let's not forget that if I ask you a question, who should you answer about? That's right. So you have probably been answering, yo estoy bien. Let's review that again. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo estoy bien. Now, you don't really have to use the yo because estoy already implies that you're talking about yourself, which is why you always say estoy bien or estoy mal. If you want to review those greetings and what to say to hola, ¿cómo estás? Make sure you check the cafecito that I've linked in the description. So here are a couple of words that you can use to talk about the way you feel and using the verb estar. We have all sorts of words to describe the way you feel. You may be able to say, I am bored, I am sad, I am happy, I am excited. Remember, you're going to use the correct conjugation of estar, and then you're going to be using these words. Make sure that you take a look at them so you know what they mean and when to use them. As far as emotions, here are some examples. Remember, you may have to change the gender of that adjective depending on whether you are a boy or a girl and whether that adjective has a change in gender. So here's an example. Estoy nerviosa. Estoy nerviosa. Or estoy feliz. Estoy feliz. Notice how feliz does not change in gender. And if you need to review a little bit of when to change the gender, look in the description. I have a video lesson for that. Estoy aburrida. Estoy aburrida. I am bored. Or estoy feliz. Estoy contenta. Or estoy muy emocionada. So always remember, you can say estoy muy bien, or estoy excelente, or estoy bien. There's a lot of words to describe how you feel. So get comfortable with all that vocabulary and make sure that you use them correctly. When we use the verb estar to talk about how we feel, it's not only used to ask, how are you doing? It is also used to ask, how are you feeling? So if you're not feeling very good, let's say you're sick, you may say, estoy enferma, estoy enferma. Again, if we're talking about a group of people, maybe we say, estamos enfermos, estamos enfermos. So do remember that this depends on who is feeling something, who is performing the action. You're also going to be able to talk about where things are in relation to others. So you will be saying things such as, my pencil is next to the book. My backpack is underneath the table, and those kind of locations. Got it? Good. Now, when we want to talk about where things are in relation to others, we need to know prepositions. Those are these words that help us tell where is one thing in relation to the other ones. For example, behind, on top, underneath, next to, those are all prepositions. So take a good look at these words because we're going to be using them. For example, here is a sentence. El libro está al lado del bolígrafo. El libro está al lado del bolígrafo. El computador está encima del escritorio. El computador está encima del escritorio. When we use estar with prepositions to talk about where things are, we need to remember what is it that is performing the action. For example, if I want to say the marker, el marcador, is on top of me, the one that is on top is the marker, el marcador. So remember, things in Spanish have gender, and it's either a he or a she or a them. So el marcador would be a él, he. So we would say, el marcador está encima de la profesora Catalina. El marcador está encima de la profesora Catalina. Now, what if instead of the marker being on top of me, I want to say I am underneath the marker? Who is? In this case would be me, I am. So in this case, I would say yo estoy debajo del marcador. Yo estoy debajo del marcador. Don't forget to review those prepositions so you can talk about the location of things in regards to others. You can also use the verb estar to talk about your current location. So right now, I could say, yo estoy en el salón de clase. Yo estoy en el salón de clase. But I could ask you, ¿dónde estás? Where are you? ¿Dónde estás? Maybe your answer would be, estoy en la playa. Estoy en mi casa. Estoy en la cocina. Estoy en la biblioteca. There's different places that you may be when you're watching these videos. So all you would do is use the correct form of the verb estar. If you're talking about yourself, it would be estoy. And then you would say en, in, and then the location. Maybe you could say, estoy en los Estados Unidos. Or estoy en India. Or estoy en Australia. Any of those forms would work. Now, we've been using the verb estar to talk about our location, yo. But what if we want to talk about a he or a she? Maybe I would say, él está en China. Or I could say, John está en Nueva Zelanda. John está en Nueva Zelanda. Remember, those subject pronouns could be changed with names. And we still have to conjugate them with the correct form. Perfect, guys. You are now able to conjugate the verb estar, which means to be. Don't get too complicated and too confused about when to use ser and estar. Don't worry about that for now. Ser, we learn to use about descriptions, to talk about what somebody is like. And estar, so far, we have used to talk about emotions and the location of people or things. Later on, there will be a much longer lesson where we will discuss in detail when to use ser and when to use estar. For now, don't worry about that. Focus on your conjugations and when to use ser when we talk about descriptive things and to use estar when you talk about emotions and location of things. You got this. You did awesome. Muy bien. Fantástico. You know how to conjugate the verb estar. And now you're able to talk about the way you feel and also talk about where things are in relation to others or maybe where you are located right now. Yo estoy en el salón de clases. Now, let's focus on conjugating the verb estar and using it in the correct form. I am super happy you joined me today. Estoy muy feliz. And what would make me even more feliz is if you click like and subscribe. Muchas gracias. Adiós.